him as a park and recreation professional and certification as an aquatic facility operator. He served for 18 years as the golf course superintendent in Pratt. And I was telling Betty, how many more members of this club are from Pratt? Because I met Dwayne Dunn and now Eddie, so and Betty, and so we're thinking you have to declare. His career in Manhattan started in April 2005, and he joined the city's administrative team as the director in November 2013. His wife is Dana, a KU graduate, and an art educator at Berkman Elementary School. They have 3 boys. The oldest is pursuing a master's degree in medical biology and waiting to get into medical school. The middle son has just graduated from K-State in geology and now is pursuing a master's in geology at Fort Hays State. The youngest son has gone to Montana State and is studying engineering. I asked him what hobbies he had, and he said mainly it was raising those 3 sons. And I think that's fair. I have 2. He's going to visit with us today about current projects and the future planning processes. You know, we have a big agenda on our plate, and so he'll visit with you about it. Eddie Edgeistis.
Thank you, Linda. I appreciate that very much. And I'm just going to jump into this real quick because I've got about an hour of presentation, and I think I only had an hour and a half, so I'm going to cut it short to about an hour. So just bear with me and be patient, okay? This is a presentation that we've given to the City Commission once previously, as we are walking down a path with some future processes with our Parks and Recreation facilities. So most of you are familiar with our parks in town, but I do just want to walk through them quickly. Some of the projects that we have occurring currently, some of the future projects we're going to have occurring, and of course some future planning processes that I think obviously are going to involve a lot of the community. So our Manhattan parks, we have 28 of them. We did at the time of the presentation, we actually have added a park. If you recall the water tower up at Sunset Cemetery, we've actually added that officially as a parkland. So we're really 29 parks, but I'm not real good with PowerPoint, so I wasn't able to update this real quick. So we're going to go with a little bit of old information here. But those parks do involve about 600 acres of what we call programmed parkland, and another 500 acres of public lands that our Parks and Recreation Department manages in some aspect. That might be areas of the levee that we mow and maintain, Waterfield, the water well areas around town. So it adds up to quite a bit of acreage, which is nearly 10% of what the total city acreage is that the Parks and Recreation Department actually manages. The 27 miles of trails, most of you have walked those at some time or another, and it does vary from our concrete trails, our linear trail that's on top of the flood control levee, as well as some sidewalk connections that does create about 27 miles of trails that you're able to utilize here in town. And if there's questions throughout this, please stop and ask. I do better with questions than I do with a real formal presentation. Spread around town, this is the location of all the parks that are in town. We do share, I'll say, parks in different respects. Seco is, as its name, Seco, City County. It's property that is City of Manhattan's, the school districts, and the counties. So that area that you see that's crosshatched is actually Seco Park, but it's the varied ownerships within that, as well as Marlette Park, Washington Park, north of it's the university's property. We have trail system that's tied to that parkland. So we indicated as parkland that is available within the City of Manhattan. It's not formally managed by the city. Out at Fairmont Park, across the river, there is again, city and county ownership in that tract. We manage some of the aspects of it. There's a trail area. We share that, again, that responsibility for maintenance between us and the county. But Fairmont Park is formally the county property. As I said, a variety of different parks. We have both programs as we identify them and non-program parks. Our primarily program parks are where we have scheduled programs and activities. We have our leagues, we have tournament games, we have reservations that occur because of the different shelters that we have. Lots of different types of uses. You know, obviously the longest list is the non-program. It might confuse people some when we look at Northeast Park because it does have soccer fields, it does have ball fields on it, but those are not areas that we schedule any games or activities. That park is specifically as a non-program drop-in park. We don't reserve, it's a first come, first serve. And then again, the variety of different other parks, the variety of sizes, anywhere from Northeast Park, nearly 100 acres, down to Truth Park, which is just a few acres. So wide variety of different parks in town for everybody to enjoy. Within those parks and our outdoor facilities, a wide variety of different types of amenities for people to be able to use. 16 baseball, softball fields. I won't read through the list, but again, a variety of different fields and uses for. I had to ask one person also 3 basketball courts. Everybody's not familiar with where those are at. We have one in City Park. We have one at the Douglas Center. We have a half court at Stag Field. We have a half court down at Truth Park. So in total, 3 basketball courts in town, and again, all heavily used. The sand volleyball, sometimes people don't realize that, and we actually have sand volleyball leagues that occur there in City Park. Our outdoor facilities, 20 different shelters. The majority of those are rentable shelters. We do have one at Northeast Park that is, again, is a drop-in. Those shelters are heavily used, especially come graduation time. I think they're turned over 3 or 4 different times with different people using those for graduation parties. The restrooms that we have around town are very important because a number of those are open year-round. They provide public access for people as they're utilizing different aspects of the park. The playgrounds, something I think is very important with our playgrounds, we have a number of certified playground inspectors. It's very important to us that our playgrounds and any of our amenities are well maintained. So we have people on those playgrounds every single day that are evaluating those, looking at those, and then generating whatever types of repairs are needed. And we do have a big project occurring right now. We're changing the surfaces, very similar to what the school district is doing. We're going to an artificial turf playground surface, very safe, and again, very important to us that we provide safe areas for people to play. You can see the wide variety of different types of outdoor amenities. Splash parks too, that's always fun to talk about. We have one that really is obvious in City Park, Blue Earth Plaza with the water feature that's down at on the east side of town. Realistically, we've got to call it a water feature. Fred knows it well, he sees it every day. It's every bit as heavily used as our water feature in City Park. It was built, it was intended to be an interactive water feature to replicate a Flint Hill stream, and people enjoy it. People are in it every day. So we're glad that they are. Just walking through some of our more program parks, Frank Annenberg Park, everybody's familiar with it. I won't go through all the amenities that are in that, but I do want to touch on some of the projects that have occurred and are going to occur. We've done some significant roadway improvements, changing some of the asphalt roadways. If you recall, that park was originally constructed in 1988 through progressed in phases to the years after that. Again, the playground surfacing, we're trying to upgrade our surfacing to make sure that we've got very safe surfaces. Big projects that are occurring right now, 2015 and 2016, we're taking one soccer field, changing it to artificial turf. We're taking 4 baseball, softball infields and changing those from skinned infields to artificial turf as well. The sports field lighting that's out there is the original. It's definitely reached its lifespan, so we're changing out the sports field lighting on all 4 of those fields at Twin Oaks and that one soccer field. So a substantial project, and it's really the first entry for us with any sports fields to go from artificial or to go from natural turf to artificial turf. Sequel Park, again, is a combination owned park with the school district, the county, and the city. Some of the projects that we've had occur, we've had a nice memorial project in 2013 that added the shade structure out there. very well received, and something that we take that shade structure up and down each year, but the baseball teams definitely use it as kind of a meeting space and an area for teams to prep before they play. 2015-16, I'll touch this real quick and a little bit more at the end. It's one of the facilities that we need to look at a little bit more thoroughly and determine if there's some improvements or alterations that could occur to those facilities to better suit the community as we move forward. Eisenhower Baseball Complex, that's where high school baseball plays. That's the primary use of that field. MCC uses the field. American Legion uses the field. We've had substantial improvements. Fields have all been in pretty good shape for quite some time. We did add scoreboards out to the main Norvell field here in the last year or so. It's not an area that we program and put our Parks and Recreation leagues at, but it is heavily used by the community, again, for high school baseball. American Legion baseball, KSU Baseball Club plays out there. As Dr. Shannon knows, it's a real challenge for us to park out there, and it takes a lot of cooperation between us and the school district to make sure that we don't overload that area of the neighborhood. City Park, of course, if you've heard in the news lately, I'm sure a lot of you, if you're not at the City Commission meetings, you're at home watching it when they're occurring. We just had a work session with the City Commission in regards to the City Park Master Plan. Very important topic for us. We're in the process of that right now. We'll come back to the City Commission at a later time with that, trying to address vehicle traffic in City Park. We have extensive community involvement process, trying to hear what the community would like to see in that park, and then trying to create a concept that we can all be comfortable with to try to move forward in the future. The projects that we have occurring right now, we are going to be improving. We'll be receiving bids and back to the City Commission pretty quick to make substantial improvements to the City Park Pool parking lot. That was an area that we weren't able to afford when we rebuilt City Park Pool several years ago. It's the same existing asphalt that was there quite a few years ago. It needs improved, it needs replaced, and we have a project that's going to occur very quickly, hopefully, and you get it completed before the pool opens next year. We also are doing some parking lot improvement on the north end of City Park. City University funds are going to fund that project. If you go up there today, you can't park there right now. It's completely full. Parking in that area, as we all know, is a challenge. So hopefully this will help improve that area. Again, the master plan is underway. Feasibility study on indoor aquatics. That's a heavy topic right now with the community, something that City Commission was weighing here recently. We need to look at indoor aquatics. That's been a common comment through this master plan process, as well as the recently conducted strategic facility improvement plan. Indoor aquatics is very high on the list of areas of need within the community. Some of our indoor facilities, City Auditorium, Peace Memorial Auditorium. Right now we do have a project. If you've been by City Hall recently, you see the Parks and Recreation offices are moving over to City Hall. So all of that construction on the front is going to be the new Parks and Recreation offices as we leave City Park and move over to City Hall. Some of the other improvements are associated with that. We're going to be placing, if any of you played volleyball or have done anything in this auditorium at any time, if you've had any musical activities, if you've done anything in Peace Memorial Auditorium, you know it's not air conditioned, extremely hot and difficult to use. So we're going to be improving the HVAC, adding air conditioning to this facility, which is going to greatly enhance its ability to be able to be used. Kind of excited about that. Community House, recently with the City Commission, they did receive a feasibility study for alternative uses of the Community House. We use it extensively. The Community House is where we have as many programs, indoor programs, as any other facility we have. We have, in the past, we've had Wee Wigglers youth program. We have lots of arts and crafts programs there, pottery, painting, a wide variety, photography through the years of activities that occurred at the Community House. Right now, though, the feasibility study has been received by the City Commission for potential other uses. A lot of things tied together as we exit the current Parks and Recreation offices in City Hall, in City Park, can we repurpose that building and potentially move out of the community house? Community house is a challenge to use. It's not very ADA accessible. Parking is always a challenge in that area. Maintenance of the building is a challenge. So repurposing, looking at some other uses, I think could benefit the community. Douglas Park and Douglas Center, kind of indoor, outdoor both. Again, it's one of the places we have a basketball court outside, we have park outside, playground outside, but also inside the annex and the center, we've got a small gymnasium, and we also just recently improved that by adding air conditioning to that facility as well. We now have full-time activity leaders that are at this facility, so we're starting to offer more classes, activities, yoga classes, Zumba classes, heavily used. A lot of people are participating, and it's kind of a different use of the Douglas Center than we've had in the past. It's always been a drop-in facility where we didn't have programmed activities, but it's getting very popular right now as we've made some enhancements to the facility, and I think the community is responding and using it, much more so than they have in the past. I said an hour. I'm not going to last that long, okay? Some of the major improvements that we have coming up within Parks and Recreation, again, completing the office construction and moving over to City Hall is a big process. Parks and Recreation has been in the park for quite a number of years. So it's going to be a change to the community, but the attempt is to provide kind of a one-stop shop, to be able to come to City Hall and to be able to, I hate to say pay your water bill, but yes, that's what has to occur, but also look at facility reservations to sign up for classes and activities, as well as purchase your pool pass if you'd like to. We think that we can provide the community a little bit easier process than multiple facilities around town to do all of that. So looking forward to that, hopefully to be completed in December. Crossing our fingers with that. So far we're on schedule and things are moving forward. Drive by and take a look. City Park projects, the parking lots again will be substantial improvements. When you leave here today, drive by City Park. You're going to see hundreds of cars that are parked in the park, and again, some overflow potentially from the surrounding businesses, the surrounding neighborhood. We need to improve some of the parking in the parking lot so that it's more organized. The gravel lots are very inefficient, and the park, it spills into the park, which I think is a challenge. If we want to protect that green space, we want to manage that green space, I think we need to organize our parking much better than it is today. The projects at Annenberg Park, again, big step for us to move from natural turf to artificial turf. I managed golf course for 18 years. It's a challenge for me to promote artificial turf. But in this setting, it works well for us. Soccer fields are some of the most challenging natural turf areas to be able to manage, especially in a recreation setting. We have a small time frame to be able to conduct our programs. Summertime activities, evening time, the overplay, the practice is very difficult for soccer fields. It's the most challenging area. Even trying to grow bent grass in southern Kansas in a 100-degree area is easier, from my experience, than managing the soccer fields. They're a challenge. They're a challenge. The park master plan that we're working with City Park, get involved with that. We're going to be back to the City Commission at a later time. We appreciate the input. The park is a critical space for the community. We really are trying to promote community involvement. So look us up, go online. We've had different surveys, opportunities for input. We don't want to, when I say we, city staff won't, we don't want to be driving the process. We don't want to be driving the improvements. We want the community, the users, to be driving what it is that you're going to enjoy within your parks. So the community involvement is critical. Please get involved with that. Some of you, again, if you stayed up on Tuesday nights and watched the City Commission meetings, one of the topics we had was a strategic facility improvement plan. It's been a planning process that we've been involved in for 12 months. It's been quite a process to look at our facilities and consider what type of improvements or new facilities the community would like to see or that we're deficient in here in the community. We're still involved in that process a little bit. The City Commission has accepted the final plan from the RDG Planning and Design, but we need to continue to look at our facilities and really fine tune what type of improvements can be had, what type of potentially additional facilities might be needed. And this is going to be a further discussion with the City Commission, hopefully within October, November timeframe. I'm saying these things because I know I got two city commissioners, but they know the topic, and I know that they're both looking forward to the discussion as well. Because again, it's not a Parks and Recreation topic; it's a community topic. And I applaud the Fieldhouse group. If anybody's here is a member of that, I really thank you. You brought this topic to a community level topic, and I'm simply the Parks and Recreation Director that am helping receive this information, helping get it to our city commissioners, helping everybody understand, what some of the community issues are, and hopefully we can reach some type of consensus and move forward with potential improvements, enhancements, or new facilities. So I simply say, get involved, be a part. We want to listen, we want to hear, and we want to provide what it is that you would like to see. So with that, I'm sure open to some questions. I don't know that I'll have the answers, but I'll sure give it a try. Yes, sir.
What's the Lee Mill Heights parkland this fall?
We have some new property that's up in that area. I'm not going to tell you exactly where it is, but it's at the end of Miller Parkway, not clear out to Scenic Drive, but we have about 70 acres of land up there that we purchased and was donated by Schultz Construction Company. And we're intending to do a master plan with that piece of property this fall. We've engaged that community to a certain extent. We'll be promoting some public meetings here this fall, and we potentially have a grant with the National Park Service that is going to provide us some assistance with that master planning process as well. It's a real natural piece of land that I would say is very similar to Warner Park. Envision trails, trailheads, maybe small playground, shelter, but it will be a natural parkland. Yes?
With regards to the trails, and maybe it's just because I didn't put in the right search, is there somewhere on the website where you can get a list of all the trails and their locations and distances?
And I put our current guide out on some of that's hot off the press today. We just received it this morning. Our last brochure that we had has an insert that can be pulled out that does have all the trailheads, has all the parks and amenities within those parks. And I'm sure that that's on our website as well. I'm not going to guide you to it,
okay,
but it's on there as well. Yes, sir.
This is not a question, but I thought maybe it's a piece of trivia I thought maybe the club would be interested in. I've been officing next to the community house for many years. I just noticed yesterday that the plaque on the front says that it was built with the help of the Rotarians of Kansas and Missouri.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's a National Historic Site.
Yeah, that's interesting. I say, maybe I sound like there were some issues with the community house. It's difficult for us to put the public into that building. That's the issue for us. The building is a good, sound building. We've done some improvements to the building late, and I do hope this feasibility study helps show maybe how it can be better used in the community, because it's a solid structure and it should be used. We're getting close to 1. I'll be happy to stand around, without a doubt, but I know we're getting close to 1 o'clock, and I'll sure answer some questions.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.